speaking of the elites and maybe speaking a little bit to possibly the one person that right now has a little bit of momentum. In that episode, there was a conversation kind of about the DeSantis versus the like Disney, kind of some of the legislation against I guess it was like the Don't Say Gay bill, where the schools couldn't be teaching stuff about like sexuality and like gender stuff, all that kind of stuff. But I had never heard that take, which was his take was kind of like, and something about it I didn't like, but let me let's see if I'm saying it right here a little bit. But basically he was like, they those type of takes, they feel good in the short run to the right, but in the long run, it actually comes off as blowback to the right, because the left will see it almost like a super attack on their way of living. Well, they kind of have a long-term kind of game plan, because they're kind of playing on home court advantage, kind of in a way, something like that. So it was kind of like, but my take was like, it almost felt like, because he would speak of like, you don't make a move like that unless you're ready to like completely take over the system and all that. And that seems like too distant, and he almost doesn't really paint a nice picture of how that looks, but at least the way that I've heard it say. But it almost feels like he doesn't want us, when I say us, I mean like the right, because I'm putting this right now in the right-left kind of thing. The right to throw any punches, even if they're punching up, like it just seems like, no, you got to take your punches until you're ready to throw the biggest punch ever. But usually fights don't happen like that. The smaller guy needs to be strategic and has to be smart or something. But I don't know. What was your take on that? Because at the time, yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of people had like positive takes, like, oh, DeSantis, he's throwing chingazos and he's giving it to them. But I had never heard that, like, no, that doesn't work out the way you're gonna think in the long term. What was his take? Was his take right? What do you think on Curtis's take on that, or was it wrong?
I mean, I can see his point. What I will say is that Curtis doesn't believe that secession can ever happen. So, like, he doesn't believe Texas could ever leave the Union, that they'll never allow that to happen. I don't agree. I see things falling apart quickly, and so I think the greatest thing that could, yeah, there you go, man. God, let me tell you something. I'll be applying for citizenship if it happens. We
welcome you with open arms, man. No walls here.
Yeah. Well, we better build a wall around Texas if Texas succeeds.
Oh yeah. We built one on the south. We better build one on the north for sure.
Yeah, if that's for damn sure. Should have done that already. But what was that?
The west side wall has to be a little bit extra taller, right? Keep the California out.
Definitely. But so I don't agree. I think the secession can happen. And so when I see what DeSantis is doing, I cheer it. I'm all for it. I wish that he would, there's this libertarian guy who's saying that he's going to run against DeSantis and he's going to take votes from DeSantis. What I would love to see DeSantis do, because he's been really good about doing things, going a little authoritarian. I wish he'd go a little more authoritarian, actually. But I'd love to see him be like, okay, I'm passing this executive order that the Libertarian Party can't run ever again in Florida. I mean, just to fuck with them. I mean, and to do it for real. Be like, yeah, you don't even get on the ballot here, bitch. I mean, really, you're gonna. I mean, I understand. Look, DeSantis there are so many things that I could scream and I want to choke him for and everything. Not literally, okay, FBI. I want to metaphorically choke him for. But if the black gay crackhead would have won the election against him, Florida would be a wasteland right now. DeSantis understood when COVID happened that what is their number one industry? It's tourism. We need to keep this thing open. And I think he shut down for 5 days. Then he was like, came to a sense. He's like, whoa, that's insane. And he kept it open and he made sure that businesses could operate as normal. And he basically saved the country. I mean, he said, well, I call Florida a country. So he saved, just like I call Texas a country. He saved the country and his country. And, I think King DeSantis, if the other guy would have got elected, he would have done every COVID. He would have been right in line with the CDC, everything that they said, social distancing, masks everywhere, shut down. I mean, he would have destroyed Florida for probably forever. I mean, they're the one industry that they have the most. So the way I look at that is, and I don't think that Wheels, what's your governor's name? I call him Wheels. Abbott. Yeah. I mean, he's not in DeSantis. He's not near what DeSantis is. He's done a lot. And even our governor here, basically every time DeSantis passes something, the governor in Alabama just basically puts it right through too. So, but I mean, I think that I don't agree with Yarvin. I think that you take, this is a war, and you can't wait. And if you wait until all the pieces are in place, they could never come. So you have to have these little brush fires. You have to have these little battles and everything like that. I don't like yesterday, the Georgia Guidestones, someone blew them up. So they tore them down and everything. And I'm one of those people who's like, I'm, whatever. I mean, I don't really care. They're gone. Good. Who cares? I've been out there. I've seen them. I've been to the place. But I was like, I want to leave these things up. It's like they have all these books now, these CRT books, these books to teach kindergartners about gay sex and everything like that. Don't burn these books. Keep them, because in the future, when we win and we destroy these people, we're going to have evidence in the future of why we did that.